Hey everyone, this is Khyati Maheshwari, and before starting with this video, I would like to thank Dr. Kanu Kaushik sir for providing me this platform and making me a part of Kindness Soup Rehab Institute. So, without any further delay, let's directly begin with our topic, Rett syndrome. In the previous videos, we have already discussed about clinical features, general introduction and stages of Rett syndrome. So today, we are going to discuss about diagnosis and physiotherapy management of Rett syndrome. Okay, now let's start this video by discussing the diagnosis. To diagnose a Rett syndrome, there are two important things. First is the clinical picture and the another one is confirmatory MECP2 test. Okay. So clinical picture says we need to check for the clinical features, sign or symptoms of Rett syndrome in a patient who is a suspect of having Rett syndrome. Okay, once we find clinical features, signs or symptoms of Rett syndrome in a person who is a suspect, then we will move towards the confirmatory test. Confirmatory test is basically a blood test which will diagnose if there is any mutation present in MECP2 gene or not. As we have already discussed, when there is any mutation that takes place in MECP2 gene, it leads to Rett syndrome. So we will check whether there is any mutation present or not so that we can confirm Rett syndrome presence. Okay, this completes our diagnosis. Then moving towards the physiotherapy management, which is the most awaited part of this whole video. Okay. Physiotherapy plays a very vital role in managing neuromuscular conditions. So it would help in Rett syndrome also. In Rett syndrome, goal is basically to maximize and maintain functional abilities of a child. Functional ability means the day-to-day living activities or ADL, activities of daily living which a person do. Okay, so physiotherapy in Rett syndrome would be mainly focused on helping an individual so that he can perform activities of daily living efficiently. Fine. Now, how can we increase those ADL activities or how can we maintain or maximize those functional abilities? So, physiotherapists aim to improve or maintain joint mobility and flexibility. They would try to improve and maintain joint mobility and flexibility because in Rett syndrome, patients develop contractures, rigidities, so they would try to improve joint mobility and flexibility. Okay, then they would try to improve balance and coordination because in coordination in seen with the patients of Rett syndrome, then they would try to prevent or reduce the spinal deformities. Spinal deformities like sideways curvature or we can say scoliosis is frequently seen in the patients of Rett syndrome. So we would try, or the physiotherapist would try to maintain them. Okay, then the fourth one is maintaining lung volume and capacities. I have already told you the patients of Rett syndrome are unable to exhale properly, which leads to breath retention and finally leads to hyperventilation in lungs. So lung volume and capacity needed to be maintained. Okay, so what physiotherapist would do? Maintain flexibility and joint mobility, balance and coordination, reduce spinal deformities and maintaining lung volume and capacities. So this is just a general overview how physiotherapy should work in Rett syndrome. Now, what are the specific protocols or specific exercises or specific things which need to be manifested in Rett syndrome for the treatment purpose? So, there are basically 6 things which need to be manifested for the treatment of Rett syndrome. First one is PIASTM therapy, second one is aquatic therapy, third one is rehabilitation suit therapy, fourth is strength and coordination or conditioning training program, fifth one is cardiorespiratory rehab and the sixth one is wheelchair management. These things are very crucial or should be noted whenever we are supposed to treat a patient of Rett syndrome. Okay, so the first one is PIASTM therapy. PIASTM therapy is pediatric instrument assisted soft tissue mobilization. What does this means? There is basically an instrument which is used for soft tissue mobilization in pediatric conditions or in children's. So this full form describes this thing only, pediatric instrument assisted soft tissue mobilization. Now what is that instrument called? That instrument is basically called Excel tool, which is used by clinician to treat the affected area with appropriate amount of pressure. They exert certain amount of pressure and they use that Excel tool along with that. Okay, what is the basic principle behind this? PIASTM therapy tends to break down facial restrictions or adhesions. That means in the fascia or in the layer, facial layer which is covering the muscle, there are some adhesions or restriction formed, due to which joint limitation limitation in joint mobility is seen. Okay, and so we need to break those adhesions or restrictions so as to achieve a good flexibility and joint mobility. Okay, because those restrictions or adhesions were basically limiting the joint movement. Fine. Now what are the things this PIASTM therapy do in Rett syndrome? This is basically improving the muscle tone, reducing contractures, maintaining the flexibility of a joint or a muscle. These are the basic things which PIASTM therapy do. Improving the muscle tone, reducing contractures and maintaining flexibility of a joint or a muscle, because these are basically breaking the adhesions. Okay, this is PIASTM therapy. Then comes a cardiorespiratory rehab. This help an individual to improve cardiac health and lung volumes. As we all know that we need cardiac rehabilitation and improve the lung capacities in case of Rett syndrome. Okay, and these also prevent cardiorespiratory complications. So what are the exercises we can give as cardiorespiratory rehab? Like aerobic exercises, deep breathing exercises, or percussion and vibrations we can give. So these are general things about cardiorespiratory rehab. Then comes wheelchair management. Proper wheelchair assessment and management is very much necessary so that we can help a child in improving quality of life and gaining self-confidence and independence. Customized wheelchair should be there so that it could improve quality of life of an individual and it can help in gaining self-confidence and independence. Okay, then comes our rehab suit therapy. Okay, so what basically happens in rehab suit therapy? There is a suit made up of canvas to which bungee cords are attached, and after wearing the suit, patient is suspended and given some functional exercises to be performed. Okay, so this is generally a suit which patient wears, and then he or she is suspended and then asked to perform some functional exercises. Okay, now what are the benefits of this therapy, or we can say rehab suit therapy, in treating Rett syndrome? It creates appropriate proprioceptive stimulation. Because the patient is suspended in air, proprioception can be maintained or proprioceptive stimulation can be done. Then it increases neuromotor coordination. By increasing neuromotor coordination, it basically calms down the patients. Okay, it increases neuromotor coordination, and because it is increasing neuromotor coordination, it would tend to decrease pathological reflexes activity. What are pathological reflex activities? Some neuromotor reflexes are seen in case of Rett syndrome, like jerky movements or involuntary movements. These are basically seen in patients of Rett syndrome. So these can also be reduced by using this therapy. It increases neuromotor coordination and decreases pathological reflex activities. Fine. Then it also improves functional and fundamental skills. What are those functional and fundamental skills? Like independent rolling, independent crawling, independent transition to upright positions, like to 4 points, to sitting, and to high kneeling positions. They can be independently stand up, or they can be independently moved to these positions like 4 point sitting and high kneeling positions. Okay, so it basically helps in improving functional and fundamental skills. Then comes, it improves static and kinetic balance in vertical position. That means it helps in balancing, it helps in improving the balance when the patient is stationary and when the patient is in movement. In both the condition, this rehab suit therapy basically helps a patient to balance in a vertical position. Okay, and by helping the patient to balance in vertical position, it also provides the ability of independent standing. Okay, so what are the things which we have seen in rehab suit therapy? This is basically a suit made up of canvas, bungee cords attached, and after wearing this suit, patient is suspended and is asked to perform some functional exercises. Then what are the benefits of this? Rehab suit basically creates appropriate proprioceptive stimulation, neuromuscular coordination, functional and fundamental skills, static and kinetic balance, and then it can also help in independent standing. Now, the last two things are aquatic therapy program and strength and conditional training program. Okay, aquatic therapy program, it is basically used for motor and sensory stimulation or rehabilitation. This program, aquatic program, is used for motor and sensory rehabilitation. How it is used? In this, water is used to assist the patient's healing and to assist exercise performance of a patient. Okay, aquatic therapy is designed to work on stereotypical movements like functional hand skills. Aquatic therapy program basically improves hand skills. When a patient or when a child is in water, she tends to use more hand. She does hand movements. Okay, so it basically improves hand skills, gait and balance by improving coordination. Then hyperactive behavior. Water can be used to calm down patient and to improve or to reduce hyperactive behavior. But mind you, in some conditions, aquatic therapy can also improve or can also increase convulsions in a patient. As we have seen in Rett syndrome patient, convulsions and seizures are seen. So in some cases, if they are not handled properly, it can lead to increased convulsions. Okay. Then aquatic therapy is also used for improving communication and social interaction, because there are some group therapies and patient tend to play some games. So it basically make the child happy and communicate better, and in a good way interaction can be made. Okay, so what are the benefits of aquatic therapy? Hand skills improvement, gait and balance improvement, hyperactive behavior can be reduced, then communication and social interaction is improved. Fine. Then comes one more important thing about aquatic therapy. Listen, when the patient is in water, water tends to compress chest. So basically water is providing resistance to the respiratory muscles. So respiratory muscle strengthening occurs in water. In aquatic therapy, respiratory strengthening can also be done, strengthening of respiratory muscles. Fine, this completes our aquatic therapy. The next one is strength and conditioning training program. Kineso Prehab practitioners design a specific therapy program according to child's need, which maintains or improves strength, balance, coordination and endurance. That means we need to customize some exercises so that we can improve strength and condition of a patient. You can apply according to your patient some strengthening exercises and some general conditioning exercises. So this basically completes our physiotherapy management. Okay, now let's just discuss what we have read in this. The first one was PIASTM therapy, then rehab suit therapy, then aquatic therapy, strength and conditioning training program, then wheelchair management and cardiorespiratory training. These 6 things are very vital which are required to be manifested in case of Rett syndrome. Fine. I hope you would have understood it well, and thank you so much for providing and thank you so much for giving me your special time and watching this video. Thank you.